Hey guys, welcome back. Today, what I have for you is glass polishing and why it's so difficult. And we're going to show you how to go ahead and take scratches out, anything from 500 grit equivalent scratches all the way up to about 3,000. Ceraglass. There's other products out there on the market, for example, Auto Glime, whatever you say it, it's from the UK. When we go about this process, we're going to use CarPro rayon pads with a backing plate that I think you call it an interface pad. It's just a little foam pad, so it gives you more of a cushion, especially on a rounded surface. We're going to be using this Jeep glass that is being replaced here shortly for my glass coatings test. So we're going to go ahead and tear it up and see how things hold up. So again, we're going to use Ceraglass, rayon pad, interface pad, and a rotary polisher. And I have one that's about to die here. It's an old Harbor Freight Chicago Electric rotary polisher with a backing pad. If that doesn't make it, I've got the trusty Makita and the Rupes as a backup, both rotary. So when we go about polishing here, I'm going to go ahead and do 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, and 3,000 Trizact for scratches, and then the two in the middle here will just be our normal control with this windshield's in okay shape. I've put a piece of black vinyl behind here, and it does have some bubbles and things in it, but you know, it's just so it'll show up on camera, because you can see it's stopped right here, and then it's really hard to see on camera any of the scratches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put all the scratches in here, and then we're going to go through the polishing process. One thing you should note, that if you have a newer vehicle that has a windshield that has something other than an exotic vehicle where the windshield is like $200 to $500 to replace, you're probably better off replacing it. If this is like an exotic where the windshield's $5,000 plus, that may be different, but what you're going to see here is this is a whole lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work in order to achieve the results here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Just wanted to share that with you. The process is something like this. We're going to take rayon pad attached to the interface pad. You're going to put it on our polisher here, and then you're going to use a soap and water solution. You can use water, but it's going to dry really quick. So soap and water, it basically allows it to be worked a little longer. You're going to have to use a lot of pressure and a decent amount of speed. Also, if you're going to be doing this on a vehicle, you need to mask everything off, because this is messy, and the stuff here in Ceraglass, it's cerium oxide. It's very abrasive. So if you get it on your paint and think you're just going to wipe it off, that's not going to happen. It will, well, you can wipe it off, but it's going to scratch the paint. So I don't suggest doing that. Mask everything off. So if you're doing it on a windshield, mask the hood, mask the pillars, mask the roof, maybe even further back behind. It's very, very messy, and you'll see that in just a minute. We're fortunate to be able to use a Jeep windshield, which is of course detachable from the vehicle, and here we go. Let's see what we've done here. Here's the damage. So I have 1,000 and 500 grit at the corner here. 1,000 grit, you can see very severe damage. It's obviously not uniform since I did it by hand. And 500 grit, even deeper. And now you can see why I put the black vinyl behind it, so you can see this. Onto 1,500 and 2,000 grit. That's going to be more along the lines of what you're going to see with dirt damage from the wiper blades on a dry windshield, something like that, over a period of months or even years. Definitely on the lighter side. and then we'll move over to 3000 grit, which you can see is, although there is some damage, there's not a whole lot. It's very, very minimal. And then Trizact is even less still. So it's really hard to get that to show up on camera, but there we have it. As we go through this process, the key is heat management. When you're going to polish this, start off at a low speed, keep it wet. You don't want it to completely dry out, as it'll heat up very, very quickly, and keep the product on the pad. Modern glass is a laminate glass, so it's a piece of glass, a piece of plastic, and a piece of glass sandwiched together. If you overheat that, you can cause discoloration in the plastic. And in an extreme case, if you heat the windshield up too quickly, you'll cause it to crack from thermal shock. Definitely don't want that to happen. You'll start off at a low speed, slowly increase the speed, and then with this polisher, it only goes up to 6. You're going to polish it like a 4 or 5 speed. You're going to use very heavy pressure, but not to the point where you're like pushing down with all of your body weight. It's going to be, if you had to put a number on it, 5 pounds, or no, I'm sorry, like 20 pounds, which is probably closer to about, 8 kilograms, 9 kilograms of pressure. Pretty heavy pressure, especially for a polisher. You can use a dual action random orbital polisher for this, but it's going to take significantly longer. If you have a large windshield, you definitely want to separate it into quadrants. This is a small windshield. It would normally be done in halves, left side and a right side. Each section you're going to polish for in the area of about 30 minutes, and you'll see why. I will stop in between and show you what it looks like. But early on, you don't see much progress. It's about the halfway point is when you actually start to see some of the scratches coming out. It does take a lot of time. You have to be very patient, and your arms will be killing you at the end of the day, because you can imagine polishing, leaning over a car, trying to push extremely hard, this long, this hard. So again, I slowly brought the speed up to slowly increase the temperature of the glass, because it will get quite hot in the area of 100 to 110 degrees. What is that? 30, 38, 39 Celsius, all the way up to 45, something like that. It's going to be warm, but not uncomfortably hot. Not to the point where you would be able to thermal shock it from this. You don't want hot spots. You can see overall, the temperature is very consistent, more or less, throughout the glass that was polished. That's on purpose. Before I wipe this off, I wanted to show you what a mess this makes. This is stuff that doesn't wipe off very easily, and it's very abrasive. So if you get it on your paint, like we don't care about the paint in this instance, but if you were to wipe that off, it's going to feel very, very gritty, and it will scratch your paint. So we'll go ahead and wipe everything off, and let's go inspect everything. So let's see how this did getting 500 grit out. You can see that there are a few scratches that remain, but overall, I think if you spent a little bit more time on it, you could probably get those out. That's pretty impressive by this product. 500 grit scratches. So obviously you move up, so therefore 1000 grit should be nearly gone as well. And except for the edge, it looks like that is the case. So we got everything out. So going on up, we should get everything out except for the edge, because I didn't mask it off. And so I wasn't that careful around the edge. But yeah, looks like got all the scratches out. Well done. $500 mostly, $1,000 just about everything, $1,500 same deal. So remember how I said earlier, the 1,500 to 2,000 grit, which 2,000 is what you're looking at right there, that's more along the wiper scratches that you're going to get in a windshield, and it took it all out. So very impressive. But you remember, it's messy, and there's a whole lot of work. Imagine doing this against a car, leaning over, adding that much pressure for that long. It's very tough work. If you have the time, you have a rotary polisher and you have the product, you can definitely do it. Very capable. If your windshield is discolored already, may not be the best idea, because that's probably the laminate that is discolored. So just wanted to share this with you guys, that this is another thing that's often overlooked, is glass polishing. So just wanted to show you guys how I go about it. And Ceraglass is the product that I use along with the rayon pad, and it's always worked well for me since it's been out. So it's a great product. You know, I'm not sponsored by CarPro or anything like that. I just like to share my experiences with you guys, and that is one of them. So I hope that gives you some insight into glass polishing and what all is involved. Basically, it's a lot of work, but you can get results. So if you have something that's like on a 65 Lincoln, like what I used to have, that was original glass, and you can restore it, it's got some wiper scratches, that can definitely be brought out. But if it's something that you're not comfortable with putting a lot of heat into, then there is a risk that you can damage it. On a laminated piece of glass like what we were polishing on, there's a glass and then a piece of plastic and then glass. And so if you heat that up too much, you can cause discoloration, or if you heat the windshield up too quickly, you can crack the glass. So you have to know what you're getting into. Some of the very new vehicles have a coating on the glass already, so you risk damaging that. If it's a very new vehicle, of course, you're probably not going to be polishing brand new vehicle glass just yet, but it is something to keep in mind in the future. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you soon.